Why do we feel uncomfortable when someone tells you what you're going to do? You were going to sweep the house with a broom, and Mom saw and said, "Stand up and clean the room." Why does it look like a slum? That's not true. You just want to throw the broom away and stop doing it. It's not just you. That almost all of us feel that way. It's called reactance, a psychological effect. It's named after the psychologist Jack Brehm in 1966. People always have a strong belief that they have freedom in deciding your own actions. And when you feel free, acting at will is under threat. That threat could be the rule, request, a recommendation, or just a reminder from that someone. Then psychological resistance will take place. They feel inhibited, upset, even angry. When you're told you can't have, or not to do something, 3 of the following will appear. You want it more. You resist by speaking out for their freedom. You're angry at people who restrict their freedom. Many psychologists study reactance, believe that this is a purely emotional phenomenon than logical thinking, but it still has a huge impact on human behavior. It's just that you don't like this person. You're more likely to do the opposite of what they say, just to make them feel hate. Understand that psychology. Many have taken advantage of this very motive of resistance to create a psychological trick called reverse psychology. You can see this effect in many places in life. It's simply a warning not to click here. Or that ad campaign, not for women. Not for women, of the Dr. Pepper soft drink brand. It's a psychological trick. Make others do it, or listen to something you want, by suggesting, or convince them, doing the exact opposite of that. When people are under pressure, and have to take some action, they tend to do the opposite, to assert their freedom and autonomy. Take advantage of this by doing the exact opposite of your suggestions. That person will believe they're in control of their own actions. They do it because they want to, not because you suggested it, but actually is that you're manipulating their actions and their thoughts to make them do what you want them to do. Usually, children are subject to this effect the most, according to social psychology and human nature. The kids are told not to play with a particular toy. They'll find that toy more appealing. Some mothers have taken advantage of this inverse psychology to find a way to shape your behavior. For example, when encouraging children to do housework by encouraging them, sweeping the house is exhausting. Only healthy adults can do it. So the kids stood up and swept the house. It shows that they have the same power as adults. This way of teaching children is not recommended for many reasons. It's easy to backfire. Children follow instead of resisting as originally intended. Moreover, it can also have unpleasant consequences examly. The first one affects perception and self-esteem, because parents have underestimated the child's talent and value to provoke them. Second, encourage children not to listen, because you realize that you're not being punished against the request of the mother. The third is to make children realize that 3 of their mothers, they're liars and manipulators. Every manipulation needs moderation, and leave no consequences or bad influence for the person being manipulated, because after all, it's an act of cunning and deceit. Many psychologists have expressed disapproval of using this trick because it affects other people. It contains deception and its very nature is deceit. Understand the nature of this act. You will have more insight into advertising tricks. And don't let yourself be manipulated by anyone.